Hey guys, so in today's video, we have Charlie Morgan who's going to come on the channel and give away a lot of free stuff. He's going to talk about creating contracts, having a good client support system, going over database reactivations, and also how to have an onboarding funnel for your clients. So this is these are basically all the resources that you would need as a beginner in building an agency. Basically stuff that is kind of redundant for me to talk about because I'm building my agency and I'm really focused on building my own agency. And so I don't want to be making videos about how to create, agreement contracts with clients or how to create an entire onboarding funnel when, it's stuff that I can have Charlie talk about and just give away all of the resources that he's already created on the channel. So with that being said, this might be, a boring video, not in the sense that it's boring because it's Charlie Morgan. Charlie is probably the least boring guy when he explains the most boring concepts because he's just really good at explaining, and I think he knows this stuff better than a lot of people. But just keep in mind that he's giving away a lot of things in this video. So if you're in that beginner stage, this is a really valuable video for you, and I hope you enjoy. All right, guys, so we're here with Charlie Morgan, and in this video, he has a lot of value to give out. He's going to give away a whole Google Drive with contracts, how to, go about your tracking, your service delivery. And so, yeah, in this video, he's going to go over all of those things. So go ahead, Charlie.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it. So if anyone isn't familiar with myself and my channel, my name's Charlie, and I think we've done a collab or two
Yeah.
before with some stuff on service delivery. But I basically help people like who run agencies and coaching businesses, and we help them systemize acquisition. And Thomas is a good friend of mine, so I'm pretty excited to share this all with you guys. I am going to cheekily plug my YouTube channel at the start here. I do post a lot of other stuff similar to what you're going to see today on my channel. So by all means, feel free to go and check it out if you feel like you want to. So we'll just get straight into the drive. So for context, guys, so I used to run my own marketing agency called Northflow Consulting. At its peak, we had about 70 done for you clients on board. And over the lifespan of this business, we basically signed about, I think, 350 clients or 340 clients. I'll just zoom in a bit here. So this was the agency we ran. We had the whole thing sort of running itself. Unfortunately, the pandemic hit. We did take a bit of a hit because we were in the gym niche, and that's why we transitioned to Imperium. But after a while, we did manage to sell some clients off, and we no longer run this. But basically, my business partner, Bo, created an entire module on service delivery inside of our product, which looks something like this, right? And it's a pretty serious module. There's about 60 videos in here. But what I wanted to do today was basically share with you a collection of videos and resources that you can use to massively improve your service delivery to just keep clients for longer, basically. I wish that I had this stuff when I started or when I had my first couple of clients. So I hope that I'm able to provide some value, and I hope you find this useful. So we'll dive straight in. So the first thing to look at is a strategy that we used to use called database reactivation. Now, what I'm going to do for you guys here is basically walk you through the resources or the strategy at a high level. And basically each resource has a video attached that explains it in more detail. Now, specifically for service delivery, the way this thing works, and I'll see if I can just pull this up here and sort of zoom in. But the way the database reactivation works here is, like, we call it a DR campaign, right? And this is basically where you get an existing list, typically of phone numbers that a business has, and you reactivate that database in a very specific way. The average response rate is going to be 2 to 10%. So if you strike gold and get a business with loads of leads, it's really easy to get them a ton of leads. So DR was actually one of our sort of cornerstone strategies for Northflow, because we could onboard a client, and if they had a list of like 10,000 people, we could literally get them like anywhere between 300 to maybe even upwards of 1,000 appointments in the first month without them having to spend any money on ads. And if we were charging them per appointment, that meant sometimes we could even make upwards of like 10 grand just in the first month, just literally by pressing a few buttons inside of high level. So this is basically what the system looks like as a whole. You can sort of see we've got this golden follow-up system that you might be familiar with if you watched the last video, but you can go and check it out there. But basically, we've got this SOP where we pick a client database of 1 to 10K. We send a bulk text message campaign, and then we sort of take through some, there's some other bits and pieces. So you can see the example text here, and that's sort of everything, how the workflow works. But you needed to have a strong offer, and this is the average response rate. So this, you can basically screenshot this, and this is also available in the drive to download. Now, what we actually do have is a 1-hour explainer video on the database reactivation strategy and how that works. I'm just going to zoom out here and make sure that I'm in this one. So we've got this video. I'm going to upload this to my YouTube channel a couple of days after you're seeing this video. So this is basically a 1-hour video on the DR strategy. It shows you basically like more text messages and exactly what follow-up sequences we'd use. So you've sort of got those stimuli or triggers that you'd be using, if that makes sense, to get the results. But it also walks you through how to set it up. And our friends over at High Level, and Thomas's friends at High Level, have tutorials on how to build that. So we actually bolted it onto the end. So if you want this video and basically a full explainer on how to build it, it'll be on my channel in a couple of days. So, by all means, check it out, or, subscribe so you can see when that's coming out. So that's the first thing, is database reactivation. Now, the second thing, and Thomas, I'm sure you get a lot of these questions, is how do I onboard clients? And how do I create an onboarding system once I've got people like to actually sign up? So these are a few videos. Like I said, inside of the program, the onboarding process is a little bit more serious than just 3 videos. However, I'm going to get you started with these ones. So basically what we have here is our new client SOP. So this is actually what we would follow. So when we had like 50, 60, 70 clients on board, if you don't have like a predictable process to actually get someone, signed up and like integrated with your systems, things get really messy, and it's just like it becomes a huge bottleneck, because basically when it comes to onboarding people. So we've got this SOP where we get a new client and get the payment, we send over the contract, and then we've basically got 3 steps. It's stage 4 here, where we're trying to get admin access to business manager, the onboarding document question form, and also some other bits and pieces. And you can screenshot this thing. I won't walk through it now because obviously I'm just sort of highlighting it. But what I actually asked Bo to do, my business partner, is make videos on these processes so we could share them with you, right? And so what you can see here is we've got this new client SOP video. So this is, you're fully entitled and able to watch this one through the drive, but it basically walks you through the process we would use to onboard new clients. So that might be useful. I'm just zooming out here. So in addition to that, I actually want to share with you the entire onboarding funnel we'd use. So when it came to onboarding clients for our agency, we had a really nice streamlined process where we would use a funnel, usually hosted in ClickFunnels, but you could also use High Level. And we basically put people through a funnel, right? And what I've actually arranged is to have the video explaining the onboarding funnel in the drive here. And I think this is quite a long one. I think it's it's only 13 minutes actually, so not too bad. What we do have in this lovely Google Doc is all of the onboarding funnel links. So you can see exactly how we built this onboarding funnel. And we've also got a template resource for you here as well. Full transparency, if you did sign up for ClickFunnels through this, it would be through our affiliate link, but you don't have to use the affiliate link. It doesn't really matter. And we also have a client onboarding survey. So this is I know I'm just sort of chucking stuff, Thomas, at people here. But this is sort of exactly how we did it. So this is the survey that people would fill out when they became clients. And these are the funnels that we use. So you've sort of got access to those, and they're accompanied with videos that will explain exactly how to use them. And then the other thing we had is this sort of survey. So you've obviously got the survey there. And then last but not least, we actually had this is the script we would use for onboarding calls. So you can sort of check that out if you want to. It's pretty simple, and you can build that out if you wanted to do onboarding calls. So that's just the first thing. So we'll have a look at client retention. So this is a bit simpler. So basically what we got really good at with Northflow was keeping clients for a very long time. And I know, Thomas, you're also quite good at this with this aspect of how you're working things at the moment and how you're engineering it. So this is basically more of a video than a resource, but it's about 40 minutes long, and it walks you through all of the key parts of our service delivery and the strategies we would use to retain clients for those extra 3 or 4 months. Because what I started to realize is if you can just keep a client for an extra 3 months, it's the same as getting a new client, but it's far less stressful and far easier to do. So that was that. So then we have client support. So the other thing that we ran into when we were at that 7-figure mark is how the hell do we support all of these clients? It's one thing just having 3 or 4 clients, but Thomas, I'm sure you're aware of this, even having a couple of clients, or when you're doing multi 6 figures, it's really hard to manage all that support. So what you can see on the screen here is a downloadable PDF that basically walks people through the onboarding process or post onboarding process for support. So I won't go through it in this video because there is actually obviously an explainer, but you can sort of see what it looks like here. Now, one key point, is we actually used WhatsApp as our method of support. So I see a lot of agencies using like Slack or something, and that's fine if your niche is native to Slack. So we tried to use Slack or like email or something for gym owners, but we found that they just didn't use it, which meant that we weren't aware of problems, which means we couldn't solve the problems, which meant people would leave us. So support is actually a massive key to retention. So that resource is available there. The other cool thing is obviously it's going to come with a video. So you can see this here about 20 minutes long, just walking you through the support process. And believe you me, we have battle tested that with 70 clients. And I wouldn't necessarily recommend you aim for 70 clients because it is just 70 headaches. Um,
Yeah.
but ultimately, it should serve a purpose. How did you support when you had your agency, Thomas, or with the new one you've got? How are you handling support?
With Slack, but we're actually looking at just creating our own extension on high level,
Mm.
uh, where people could just, communicate with us through high level, so they don't have to like go on Slack because that gets really annoying. Just even to download Slack is like hard.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like if you have to put resistance in the way of someone asking you a question, it just pisses them off. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I hear you, man. Um, so another one, and this is a huge one. This is my pride and joy of service delivery, and it might not seem that sexy, but it's a spreadsheet that I call the client results tracker, and this is something that I built a while ago. And basically, like when it comes to running ads, you're running a system, right? Which means that you've got different choke points or bottlenecks at different stages. So this is for lead generation specifically. So if you're an e-com, that's way more complicated. I can't help you because I'm not that smart. Um, but what you're looking at here is the actual spreadsheet that we would use on a day-to-day basis to track all of our clients' results. So here's the thing about client results, like you want to be able to see the health of your relationship with your client from a metric level in one click. And so you can do that if you've got a spreadsheet like this, because what you can basically do is month by month, day by day, track exactly how much money you spent, how many impressions you made, how many clicks you got to a funnel, how many people started a form, how many people actually filled a form and became leads, and how many people scheduled from that. And then the client is then responsible for logging how many calls they conducted, how many sales they made, and how much cash they collected from the sales. And so what this spreadsheet will do, if it formats properly, which it should, is basically give you percentages, right, and conversion rates at every step of your service delivery process. So, Thomas, I'm sure you've had people before who say like, "Oh, my service delivery isn't working." But the first question you ask is like, "Well, what part?" Because it's segmented into these sections. So this is basically available for you to just go here to file and make a copy. And this is another one of those examples where I'm going to be making a full video on how to use this and how to actually like use the data properly on my channel. So I'll probably upload that once again a few days or a week after you're seeing this video. So if you want to go and check out my channel and subscribe and wait for that one, you don't have to subscribe, but just maybe revisit it when it's live. Um,
Yeah. And
this
just
is
a
this,
quick
yeah, sure.
question. Do you have one like this for appointment setting?
Yeah. So, I'll show you an example of this, of how we would do it in the program. So basically every single system we have, when it comes down to client acquisition, whether it's service delivery, because service delivery is client acquisition for other people, right? So whether it's service delivery or our own client acquisition, we do. So I'll just give you an example here. If I come into, let's go here, and no, I need to look at this one. So I'm just going to go into our Loom system, for example. So if I go to my tracker, so we have this basically. This is for clients who use our Loom systems, but you can sort of rebuild this from scratch. If I zoom in here, so basically what we do is at the end of every single day, or sorry, at the start of every single day, whether you're doing Looms or Facebook ads, TikTok ads, YouTube ads, Google ads, I don't care if you're doing outreach on Twitter, right? Or fucking OnlyFans for all I care, right? But what you want to do at the start of every day, right, is go into your data and look at the metrics on yesterday. So you report in 24-hour time horizons. Never report on data at the end of each day because you're not accounting for stuff that comes in overnight. So if you come into this sheet, for example, here, and you think, oh, I'm going to log this at 7 p.m. Like you haven't fully spent all of your ad spend for the day, so you're not tracking properly. But this is one that we use for Loom specifically. So you come in, you log how many Looms you've sent, and then how many Looms have been viewed, how many positive replies and bookings you've had. And then what the spreadsheet will do is it will calculate your Loom view rate, positive reply rate, appointment booking rate, viewed positive reply rate, and positive reply to appointment rate. And Thomas, you'll learn more about this as you go through EasyGrow. But It's pretty simple. So if let's say that for argument's sake, like I'm sending 100 looms every single day, we'll just drag that down. And then let's say that every day I'm getting like 15 looms viewed, just for argument's sake.
Hmm.
And then let's say like I'm getting like 5 positive replies, which would be pretty typical if someone was doing the system, and then maybe like 2 bookings, right? So what the sheet then does is it tells you all of your metrics, because this is the same thing with with service delivery. Is like, if the system isn't working, it's because of a specific part of the system, not the system as a whole. So people need to start learning how to think in segments. So it's like, okay, well, I'm not getting any appointments from looms. Okay, well, my loom view rate is fine and my positive reply rate is fine, but maybe my appointment booking rate is out, so I need to focus on my follow-ups for warm people. So they think like it's the same with this client results tracker. Like, let's say you take on a client and you're not getting them results, they're getting no sales. It's like, well, are they getting no sales because the CPM's too high? Or is it because the form isn't converting properly? Or is it because people aren't scheduling, or because they're not showing up? Like, there's so many things that can go wrong, that if one of them goes wrong, the whole thing goes wrong. And you end up, if you don't have data, you end up fixing things that aren't broken. So we have one of these sort of spreadsheets for everything, and then you can look at it through all of these things. And yeah, it's pretty simple, but people just, if you don't have your metrics, you don't really know what's going on. And this will also calculate the moving average ROI for your clients, which is pretty complicated. I won't go into it in too much detail now, but it will also calculate the ROI specifically for your clients as a percentage form, so it looks extremely sexy to the people that are coming on board. And I think Arturo just photobombed you there. Um, so so yeah, that's basically the client results tracker. Full video explanation on this will be on my channel a couple of days or a week after Thomas uploads this. But if you haven't got this for each client, it's going to be extremely difficult to know why things are going wrong. And you can build a similar one for lead gen. So is that making sense, Thomas, or am I just talking complete random nonsense?
No, it makes perfect sense. Like,
Yeah.
it's super important to track, every piece of everything.
And it's a lot of effort, it takes a lot of work, but we
Yeah.
also make that part of our, it used to be part of like our contract. So like we'd have a refund, but if clients weren't tracking this, we wouldn't give them a refund, because it just holds
Mm.
them accountable to tracking it, so you can see
Yeah.
exactly what's going wrong.
Yeah.
So, and it allows you to pick up problems before they manifest, and it's pretty cool to know. So that's the client tracker. Now, the other thing I wanted to share with people was the contracts or agreement templates we used to use. Now, I have to also disclaimer this by telling everyone that, me and Thomas were not lawyers, right? So we can't give you legal advice. And I'm giving you these contract templates to tell you this is what I used. I don't know whether or not it's applicable to the state of law that you're in or whatever, but all of that bullshit aside, you can basically just download these very simple agreement templates. Get a lawyer to look them through. By all means, do that. And we've got one of these for retainer marketing and just general marketing here as well. Okay, so these are ones that we actually used. Pretty cool. And then basically, as per the other ones, there's a video that just sort of runs people through exactly like how to use them, essentially. And then last but
Mm.
not least, I wanted to also share another little shiny object for Google reviews. So another thing that you can add to your service delivery, which doesn't add too much operational drag, but does increase the value of your service significantly, is a Google review campaign. The SOP is on the screen here. It looks really complicated, but it's actually quite simple to run. But ultimately, like, what we're looking to do here is, at the start of your relationship with your client, you want to generate them leads, you want to get them appointments, but there's nothing wrong with getting them like an extra 50 to 100 5-star reviews. And you can repeat this every few months just to increase the value, because it's, you can just, it doesn't take much time. You don't even have to charge clients for it. It just is a great way to sort of keep them happy and stuff. So you can see we've got trigger links here. We've got the messaging templates, everything that you could need to run the system and bolt it onto your service delivery is contained here. But more importantly, what I have got is this actual video of Bo, my business partner, running people through how to use it. And then we've also got this sort of like the campaign structure and some bits and pieces on how to do it. So those are just like, I think like 10 videos or so. I mean, like in Easy Grow, if we do this again, I might share some more stuff if people want that. But you can see in Easy Grow, I mean, we've got like 60 videos of different things on service delivery. But I thought it might be nice just to, help some people out and share some stuff, man. And I'm always really grateful for you giving me the platform to do that.
Yeah, sure. That's awesome. It's really cool that you're giving all this stuff away.
Yeah, I love it.
And yeah, the link for the drive is going to be in the description.
Hmm.
And yeah, thanks for coming on. I mean, I'm
Hey,
sure people are really gonna love this.
yeah,
Everyone keeps asking for like contracts, how do I do this? How do I do that? And I feel like, there's videos on my channel, but like if you just give this drive, it's like
yeah.
you just have it,
I think like
you know.
it's I want like the basics of like the basic questions that people have, like how do I track results, or like how do I get contracts, or what's database reactivation. Like I feel like that shouldn't be knowledge that people have to necessarily like shell out huge amounts of money for. And it would be good, like, I mean, if people find this useful, just we can always do something similar in the future again. But like I said, like there are going to be other videos similar to those ones, like database reactivation, metric tracking, that I'm going to upload to the channel. Are you good to link that channel in my channel description? Is that cool?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's sweet.
absolutely.
Mate, well, listen, thank you so much for having me. I've really enjoyed it. And if anyone has any questions on this stuff, then by all means, just pop some comments and we'll see what we can do.
Yep. All
Legend.
right.
Nice one, brother. Talk to you later.